Well, let's start this hour by taking you live to Dixville Notch. It's in New Hampshire, a tiny town you've probably never heard of, where the first votes are being cast in the state's primary right now. We're just listening in to them talking about the tradition of why Dixville Notch cast their votes at midnight for the New Hampshire primary. Let's just listen in to hear them explain it for you.
You can see the first vote is in, and now Tom will go and take his ballot. So that's the situation here. The voting is underway in New Hampshire.
What's happening here? We know that New Hampshire kicks off with this vote. There's just a handful of voters there. The latest report from the Secretary of State's office shows there's just 5 registered voters in Dixville Notch. 5. 3 of them Republicans and 2 are undeclared voters. So, look, it is a pretty small sample size, probably best not to put too much weight on the result here. Apparently, in recent years, results have been pretty sketchy in terms of being any sort of firm predictor as to who the Republican nominee will end up being in this primary race. That hasn't stopped the world's media gathering, though, in this tiny, tiny town, which is near the Canadian border in the North Country region of New Hampshire. They're there to watch the proceedings. Every 4 years, this tiny town is inundated with journalists wanting to witness this moment as we see each voter in the town head into the voting booth there. We're told that they count the results pretty much straight away. So this is what this panel at the desk are going to be doing over the next couple of minutes, counting the votes to see what the residents of Dixville Notch would like to see when it comes to who will be the nominee for president. The US election, of course, coming up a bit later this year in November. A bit earlier in the program, we heard from Donald Trump, the former president. He was vowing to beat Nikki Haley, who really is his only main competitor now in terms of who will be the Republican nominee. As we know, poll after poll consistently tells us that Donald Trump is favoured and leads Nikki Haley with a huge margin. But it is seen that New Hampshire is Nikki Haley's best shot, really, and perhaps last shot in terms of staying in the race to take on Donald Trump for that Republican nominee title. It is expected in the end it will be the former President Donald Trump facing off again against the current President Joe Biden. As we know, American politics is full of pomp and ceremony, and this is what's going on here. And what you can see there is the ballot room in this tiny town of Dixville Notch. It's just a couple of minutes past midnight. We're watching each individual voter heading into the voting booth. We might keep an eye on that and bring you the results once we see the voters of Dixville Notch do their thing, cast their ballots, and then count the result.